What's up, y'all? This is the Runners Club podcast. And, I'm your co-host, Courtney. I'm here with Ian.
You already know, baby.
Yeah, we got both our mics today.
It's happening.
Ian sounds buttery. Smooth. Suave.
Word to the engineer.
Word to the engineer. I know you are happy. And so we're here for another episode. If you don't know who we are, we talk about running. It's the Runners Club podcast. It is in the name. And we suggest everyone to take a moment to subscribe. Find us on YouTube if you want to see us in IRL, but on your screen. You know what I mean? If you really want to see these personalities come to life in front of you.
See me chewing on this sausage right now.
That's where it's at. But yeah, we appreciate you for joining us. We've been really hitting our stride, I feel like, with season 2. And we've got guests on guests. Okay.
Yes.
Like, y'all not ready. Like, you don't even... We've been already so blessed this year. I just want to acknowledge that and just give thanks because it's been a good year. Like, we really have we've been zooming, cruising.
Yeah. Season 2 is where it's at. It's really lovely. Y'all gonna love our guest today. I guess it's definitely a shaker and a mover in a running world. I mean, literally has created the running mecca for the city of Chicago. So yeah, we're gonna get into that real soon. But Courtney, man, before our guest hops on, tell us, how has your last week been?
Well, it's been pretty great. I know you saw Momentum dropped yesterday.
Oh my God. It was the photo for me. The pose, her head up in the air, like I run. That's what I do.
And I stretch.
Right. Oh my God.
Oh man. Yeah. So Nike innovation, which I didn't even realize is a thing. But it makes sense, right? They work specifically on innovative aspects of Nike. And this was specifically about their NRC app. And they're like, we're doing this thing. It's called Momentum. We really just want authentic experiences for our runners. It's very targeted towards women, but everyone is welcome to join. It's an application that is going to be available for a short time. And you literally have to download Test Flight, which then opens up Nike Innovation, which then you can open up Momentum. So it's very much specifically to gather data, but then just cultivate really dope space. And so I was hit up by that team and alongside Coach Chelsea, Coach Jess, and then Morgan as well. And the tags are in my IG. You can see, I'm not gonna, everybody's really dope and everybody has their own community. Jess is out in New York. I think Chelsea's in South Carolina or something like that. And I think Morgan's in Portland or something. I don't know. We all over the place. But the point is it's all digital. I've been spending weeks and weeks recording runs for this thing.
Oh, wow.
And I've had to keep it under wraps. There's interactions that I've been doing on this app and test runs. And there's just so many things that.
So Courtney been running, y'all.
I've been low key running, low key doing work. I just been, in the past, when I've been I'm just working a lot, this is exactly what I was talking about is this is the work I'm doing.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
It is live. You can go on my IG, Courtney and Phillips. It'll also be in the show notes, but you can click on the link in my bio and really check it out and see if you want to be a part of it. But yeah, it's a limited time. Be a part of some new innovation things from Nike. So come say hi to me.
What's the data for?
It's about, you're going to make me read my caption. I got to be specific here. I'm not trying to, miss any talking points here. So the pilot supports research for gathering. Right. Hashtag ag. This pilot supports research for gathering learnings and insights on how consumers want to start, maintain, and enhance their running routines. So that, like I said, the app is available for a limited time, featuring audio guided runs by me and the 3 other coaches. And then there's other features that, like, when you join the app, you have, you hear that?
No.
Okay, cool. Because landscaping has started in my neighborhood, and all of the machinery is out and about. Okay.
No, nothing.
Right. So when you get onto the app, it like asks you what kind of, like, where you are in your running journey. And then it assigns you to one of 3 teams. And so I'm team stick to it. So I'm in the middle. So it's not the beginner and it's not the advanced, but I'm just kind of like we the team that we just kind of stick into it. Yeah. So it's everything from like 10-minute run walks to 30-minute, 45-minute experiences. And so it's really like the gamut. Like if you just got 10 minutes, if you want a little audio guided run, you could play your music. I'll be there in the background like, hey girl, here we are. Let's get a stretch in. Let's get moving. You got this.
That's dope. I feel like if you are a BIPOC person, you know what I'm saying? Black, Indigenous, person of color, I think you should go ahead and sign up for this. And the reason I say that is because I feel like there's not enough of us in these places where they're doing testing and insights, whereas medical, consumer, just all of these spaces, we don't have a lot of representation because we don't really either get asked or we don't find it important enough to join these studies and stuff like that. Like, I get asked pretty frequently through different apps that I use that test my heart rate. Right. Hey, can we use your information to be a part of this study? And I always click yes, because, as a Black man, like, I need them to know what's going on with my body to help educate the recommendations that the medical field gives us in the near future. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's important.
That's a really good way to put it too, because I think that a lot of people in our community are kind of off put by the idea of having data gathered by them, which is why I wanted to make sure that was part of my caption of this is not just for fun. This is also about they're taking data from your participation, come hang with me, but also understand that we're paying attention to your moves. So
if you ever say something like, would they be saying work for white people? Would they be saying work for little skinny white women or this, that, and the third? Here's your opportunity to give them a picture of someone who looks like you.
Right. Exactly. So it's and I love that, Ian. Thank you. Because that is definitely something that I'm because anytime I bring something to the community, because I had a conversation with them about this actually yesterday about just okay, I'm going to be honest with my community about this. We're not going to walk around it. It needs to be very transparent. But they've done a really good job of cultivating space. I'm excited to see who comes through and is on my team. Unfortunately, I can't see people who aren't on my team. But if you are, it's live in the chat. Okay. It's live. It's live. Okay. We got daily missions, quotes of the day. Okay, oh my God. Questions of the day.
I love it.
Interaction.
I love it.
Come find
Let's
me.
Go. I can't wait to do it. Yeah. So it's geared towards women, but men can't sign up.
Yeah, there's men on there now.
All right, let's go. All right, fellas.
I feel like that's perfect for Ian because you be the one that's just I'm cool. I don't take up too much space, but I still want to participate. And that's exactly the energy we need.
Yeah. I always end up a fly on the wall in women's space. And I apologize. I'm sorry. And while I'm there, understand I am using 85% of my energy to minimize all of my energy. I am learning a lot about energies lately and how they affect the spaces that I'm in. So it's been an interesting journey, but if y'all invite me, I'm pulling the fuck up. Yeah.
Right. Ian will be there.
All I need is a smidget of an invite. That's just a little bit. I'm pulling up. I've been missing out on why can't League of Their Own? I've been missing out on their track workouts and their events. I signed up for the footworking event and then wasn't able to go.
Yeah,
and
that
stuff
one
like
looked
that.
really dope.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to learn how to footwork. I feel like I can't die peacefully as a Chicagoan without actually knowing how to at least do the basics of
Definitely
footwork.
not. Yeah.
Yes. But that's smooth. I'm happy for you. Congratulations. You know what I'm saying? We can insert a round of applause for Courtney right here. That would be freaking awesome. She out here shaking and moving, y'all. Shaking and moving.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I love it. So how has your body been feeling since you've been running?
Oh, I mean, I'm keeping it short. I'm running the 10-minute runs, and I spoke to, because Coach Robin is my coach still. And I had a conversation with her about running, and she was just like, you know, don't run too slow because your form might fall apart if you run too slow, which is something that, like, I think I was told this before, but I forgot. And so it's like, I was scared to run faster because I was like, oh, I'm going to hurt myself. But it's like, no, like, probably because of my size and frame and the way that my body moves, I shouldn't be going. Like, it feels weird to go anything slower than like a 10-minute pace. Yeah. And because my form breaks down. And so then Coach Robin's like, yeah, so like run a 9:30, but run for 7 minutes and then walk for 4 minutes, you know?
Right. Oh, I like that. I like that alternative.
Because, and then slowly start to build those ratios to get to a better place. But I'm feeling good. I've been taking baths, I think like 3 times a week so far, like really just trying to focus on recovery, really trying to like be like, okay, what does my body actually want right now? Like, and that's what it is. Like, I just been relaxed, trying to relax. But I gotta say, our guest is in our waiting room now. And so we're gonna have to hear from you after, I feel like, because I know you got updates too. So let's take a break, let our guest in, and then y'all gonna have to listen to the end because we gotta hear from Ian as well. Okay.
Let's go.
All right. Okay, we're back and we have our guest with us. And Ian, I'm gonna let you go ahead because I always introduce our guests, and so go for it.
No, you've been killing it. You've been killing the intros lately. So I'm excited. I ain't nothing because you've been coming with it and stuff. But we do have like easily the second mayor, the running mayor of Chicago, if I do say so myself, the purveyor of all things miles in the city right now. The president of CEM, who puts together the Chicago Marathon, the Bank of America Chicago Marathon. Each year, it is the running mecca for the city. Everybody congregates, everybody comes together, the whole city. It's like it's like the Bulls winning the championship in '96 every year in October. Okay, so we have Carey Pinkowski here. Thank you for joining us.
Right, how are you?
Ian, Courtney, thank you so much for inviting me on to your runners podcast show. This is a real honor. So I'm looking forward to talking to you.
Yes, we have had. So I just want to let everyone know who is new to the show that like you also came and supported the marathon pregame that Gumbo Fit and Edge put on, and that was also a treat. And so this just like it continues to get better. So I mean, it's a new year. And it's not just the Chicago Marathon we're talking about, but you are here to talk about the half, which is the inaugural event. So, I mean, wherever you want to start, we're here for you, and we'll just continue to move with the conversation, you know?
No, it's for me personally, I mean, I've been doing and involved in these endurance events, the marathon, the shuffle, our relationship with the Abbott World Marathon Majors the last 8 years. But I've been doing this for quite a while. So, you know, I started, I had the opportunity to join the marathon team in 1990 and was appointed the director. So I've been at this for a while. But for me, what I always like to reference is that very few people get to do something for their livelihood or what their career is, which is an activity you did as a young person. And I came from a track and cross country background. I'm from Northwest Indiana, Hammond, which is on the far southeast side there, and ran cross country and track, and it was a great experience for me. And then to just be able to go on to college and compete, and then to be able to be part of the road racing scene, and then to cross over to the production side of it. So I've kind of like never grown up. I've gotten older, but I'm still around aspects of the activity of the sport that I saw as an observer or participated as a young guy, and then most recently I competed in the Bank of America Shamrock Shuffle.
Oh, you was out there?
I was out there. I was out there. So we can talk about that. So I got to. That's one of the rare events that I got to participate and do a little fundraising and stuff. So I kind of live a charmed life. I don't know if too many people have been able to do that. So for me, it's. I still get up and I do the same things, which is fun.
Yeah, you're an inspiration to all of us.
Most of let's start with the Shamrock Shuffle. I know it was the first year back running in person, post-COVID, post-pandemic. What was the experience like race day for you to have everybody run in the city? What was it like as a runner and also as the person who, kind of put the race together?
Sure. The Shamrock Shuffle, what it has always served as a kickoff to the running season. It's a great vehicle for people to kind of reconnect right of spring, that third week in March, third Sunday in March. So for me to return, I want to say it was almost 3 years that we didn't have the event.
Mm-hmm.
We had to stop the event on the front end of COVID, and then not to have it for, I think it was 1,090 days. But to bring it back and have it as successful as it was, and see so many people that we haven't seen. The Shamrock obviously is a Chicago-centric event, and for me to be able to get out and run through the loop and all of that, it was emotional. And I think it felt like the city is back. The loop, there was a ton of people in the loop on the course, spectators, and I saw people I haven't seen in a couple of years just because we've had to separate with the local guidance and all that. So it was an emotional but fun time. I wish I could have run a little bit faster. With running, you never stop learning. I trained probably 95% of my training I did on a treadmill, and then that's good. But you need to get on the road. If you're going to run on the road, you got to get on the road.
For sure.
I didn't have my road legs with me, so I had my treadmill legs. I had my treadmill legs, and not that they let me down, but it's a little bit of a different activity. So I ran 8 minutes and 13 seconds a mile, which is okay for an old guy. And I had a little incentive. Mike Nishi, our general manager, said if I could run under 41 minutes, he would double. I was running for the Chicago Parks Foundation.
Okay.
He would double the donation. So I had to put my head down a little bit. So I got 8 seconds. I had 8 seconds.
I'm not stopping and waving today, y'all.
Right. We got things to do.
We got to get this bag.
So I made it by the wide margin of 8 seconds.
Wow.
Oh, I love it.
I
love it. So there was also a course change to the Shamrock. What brought about the change, and after the race, how do you feel about having that change?
I thought the course was amazing. Having been able to run it, I mean, showcasing the loop, which is really a big part of the city, but running along Wacker Drive, I just enjoyed it. We came down Washington, and then you could see Millennium Park, and then turning on State Street. I was really impressed with the amount of people that were out there cheering, and volunteers did a great job. And then we took packet pickup and put that on Buckingham. Found like our Shamrock Village there. So we just changed the whole thing up. We thought, since we hadn't done it in a long time, if we were going to change these things up, let's implement them this year. So we had a meeting yesterday, it's kind of a recap meeting. Got some really good feedback. So we'll make it a little bit better and tweak it a little bit, and look forward to coming back in 2023.
Yeah. And so it's the Shamrock, and then it's a Shamrock half and full that are the primary events that you look like head, correct?
Yeah. And then I also sit on the board of directors for the Abbott World Marathon Majors too, myself and the other 5 race directors.
Okay. So then that's in connect. So, and what is that like?
That's a wonderful experience. and when we talk about the majors, because you have 5 of my counterparts. I mean, obviously my co-directors from Boston and New York, but also Tokyo, London, and Berlin, and then Chicago. Right. Those are the 6 events. So it's a great place to share best practices, to get some insight of what's happening, and how this organization came about is we had professional courtesy, and obviously we were in communication, but not as integrated as we needed to be. We were all in a growth. We were all in a growth phase, and we all had challenges. Whether that was our medical teams or just the way we stage, how we do our registration, all that stuff. So we found ourselves talking a lot more, spending a lot more time, and we felt if we could collaborate on those elements and connect our medical teams and our operations teams and our volunteers, and if we had learned the best practices and shared those among the other events, we would all collectively get better. But also we could share that practice with event organizers. And here in Chicago, Mike Nishi and our team runs the race management program, where we invite a lot of local race management people, race directors, and really it's a forum and a conference for people can learn best practices, and really we share that information. So programs like that, we're looking to expand that. We have the race director program for the marathon race morning, where organizers can come out and talk to our organization, see how we do things, how we build things, talk with, a lot of times we'll have some safety personnel or police personnel that'll come from New York. They'll interact with Chicago, or they'll go to Chicago. So just collectively trying to get better. So it's a really healthy, and we're not competitive.
Right.
We're very competitive, but it's just a healthy relationship.
Yeah. Okay, I love that, because I would, in my mind, I assume there was some competitiveness of like, oh, you guys have this many participants. I'm trying to get this many participants. And so like, I understand.
I wanted some juicy details. I was wondering if y'all was like the real road runners of Abbott, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I will say
hey, can I use that? I like that. The real race directors of the Abbott World Marathon.
Okay.
And I'm not going to say that we don't get into some pretty good discussions sometimes, and voices aren't raised, but it's healthy. We all have. I love it. We all collectively have a great deal of respect and love for each other. So it's one of the things I'm really proud of.
Well, I'll say I was at the race management program event last year, and I really enjoyed it. I was on the panel that Patty was keynote speaking for, and I cannot remember her last name, but she's trans. She's just trans runner, an activist. And so it was really eye-opening to be in that space and to actually meet other race directors, because in partnership with Edge, we put on so many races in 2020, 2021. And it just kind of like got me thinking of like, okay, this is an environment that I like to be in. And so to be invited to that was really a treat. And so I'm just really happy that you're continuing to cultivate those spaces, because people like me just like really do find them helpful.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. And then when you're able to talk to your peers or talk to race organizers, and sometimes some great ideas come out of those conversations, and then they find themselves into the event experience. So that's mission accomplished.
Yeah. And I'm always, and I feel like between Ian and we're always talking about the things that we're putting together. I know 7 on Sundays is putting together some races, and like, it's just it's a good, I think it's on every level that we're doing this for the community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that. So we are going in. Hold on, my 4-year-old is now joining me as he does all the time. What's up, August?
Well, I could take it from here. Do you have, what's the plan for the half? Because that's coming up June, top of June.
It's something that I'm personally very excited about, and our team is excited about. We felt that we had such a success with our events, the marathon and the shuffle, and participation across so many neighborhoods. And I'll reference the marathon in 2019 and in 2021. we had individuals that trained for, started, and finished the marathon from all 50 wards in the city.
Wow. Okay.
Which is, I was really moved by that. We also had individuals that made their way to water stations or to the expo or course marshals or anywhere along the different volunteer areas from all 50 wards. So we really saw this, the city, there's really a citywide support for this, whether in participation. And we've had a half marathon on the drawing board.
Yeah.
When we started thinking about this, the natural kind of thought process is, how can we tie it into the marathon and how can we leverage some of that? And, we sat back and said, no, that's a good idea, but we had so much support from across the city. Why don't we try to take an event to a different part of the city? Why don't we try to connect the neighborhoods that are not on the marathon course? Because I've been out to different groups and organizations, and there's an energy there and an enthusiasm, and there's a connection with the clubs and the activities that they do.
Yes.
And we started looking at Humboldt Park and Garfield Park and Douglas Park, and how can we connect those three parks together? So we've working with the Park District, who's been amazing, and the city and mayor's office. We really think we have something that showcases the West Side and those beautiful communities that are around Humboldt Park, Garfield Park, and Douglas Park. And we had a team of our staff. We went out to the three parks this past Saturday for Earth Day, and we worked on cleanup crews and really got to meet some people in the park and got to see. We were out there from 7 to noon, so we got to see it was a beautiful Saturday day. I was in Douglas Park and got to see what was going on and how things work there. And then we were in the neighborhood, and I had driven through there, but now that the weather is warmed up, you're really starting to meet people and see people. And we think it's got a ton of potential. We had our whole team here yesterday on a bus and took a course ride, so everybody got to see what we were thinking about. And they were just moved by the energy around the parks and the West Side of Chicago. So we're going to get this initial one off. It's been a while. I mean, it was on the drawing board in late 2017 and 2018, and then obviously we're going to bring it to life in 2019. We had to take a pause with COVID. So we're moving slowly. We're going into a part of the city that we haven't been in before with our events, and really and working on the culture and the timelines of which the community feels comfortable. So the first one this year, we just want to get it up. We want to launch it and then sit down with our and take notes and see what we saw and everything. So I'm excited about it, to start something from ground level in a different part of the city that we've ever really worked in is fantastic.
Yeah.
And those parks are just gorgeous. Oh my God. The greenery in Humboldt, the Golden Dome and Garfield. And I mean, just like the way the boulevards just interconnect with each other. It's going to be an amazing sight. I mean, I went and ran with the Peace Runners at Garfield Park. Maybe last Saturday, Saturday before last, and you got the lilies, the yellow lilies just popping up, and they just kind of weave in between the trees. So, they only up for like a limited time. Yeah. And it's just gorgeous the way the sun hits that golden dome. You know what I'm saying? It's just amazing. So I can't wait to run back past the conservatory, see how connected, because what I think is called the Emerald Necklace. Yeah. Because of how green that section of the city is. It's pretty awesome. I mean, those parks were created when architecture was truly an art form, so the buildings, Ian, I would agree, the buildings and the architecture, it's like, and I've been in the car, so you're kind of watching traffic and then looking and getting out and taking but to just ride and take a look at the communities, all the things you're talking about, and the parks are coming alive, the trees are starting to bud and everything's starting to come up. So it's it'll be a great event.
and I'm hope we get the first one up. We got to make sure we touch base with everybody and everybody knows it's coming, but a lot of support we're getting, and we're in it for the long haul. I think in 2 or 3 years, this will be a really established event, and we'll be able to create some great programming around it. And I think a lot of people that from the community that run in the 13.1 will give them the confidence to think about the marathon. So connecting, and it's a great stepping stone. It's in a wonderful part of the city.
Yeah, it's really going to be a gem.
I was going to say that I think it is a really good. I agree with that. I mean, it's really easy to get newer runners interested in the Shamrock Shuffle. Yeah. I think that 6 miles is really digestible to them. And then they feel good after that. What is it, like 8 weeks of training leading up to the Shamrock Shuffle? Their bodies feel good. They've been running. So, hey, let's keep going. We got the half a couple months from now.
It's a slow build.
And then boom, hey, you already up to a half marathon.
Why not do a
Just
full?
Keep going. We well into training plan, training for the full. Yeah. So I definitely see it.
But as you know, people that discover running, that it has such a positive effect on not only physically but emotionally and psycho. I think, and once you start running a bit.
Yeah,
the marathon is there. You start thinking about it because it's the most. It's the ultimate expression of the activity of running. There's just this aura and atmosphere around it, and we just have to capture that. And if people aspire, more people from the city, from the neighborhoods aspire to participate in it. This is great. It's one of the great events in the world, and I've always said this is what makes the marathon or any of these events popular is people are drawn to the local experience, that block by block view of a city or a neighborhood or the community. So it really starts at street level and goes up. And our team does a really good job of building everything from the street level up. And we've got a wonderful suite of sponsors that allow us to do this. But everybody's on board with, first and foremost, the race day experience is the primary focus.
Well, I guess my question is, and I think you've already touched on a few things, but like, what do you, as CEM, want everyone to be able to experience for this half marathon? Like, if you could think of a couple of things that just takeaways that you hope kind of carry them through. I know running is contagious, and and the marathon's definitely something that we all want. I want everyone to try to experience, but like, this is so specific, so new. The first. So like, what is the experience you're looking to kind of give?
Well, for me, we experienced this with the marathon. I've had people tell me that live up in Wrigleyville or up on the north side or on the far north side of the course that they had a nephew or a friend or their friend's daughter ran the marathon. So they decided to get on the L when she came by their neighborhood and go down to Chinatown. And they lived in Chicago for 20 years and had never been to Chinatown before.
Yeah.
Or Bronzeville or whatever. So there's this dynamic of not only the people that come to Chicago to run the marathon, and a large percentage of them have never been in Chicago before or been to Chicago before. So it's a great way to illustrate what a dynamic city we have. But also, that's a great way for people from different neighborhoods to kind of go to different. People that had not been to Bronzeville, they went down to 35th Street to cheer on a neighbor or a friend or a relative. Or it's just a really great way to connect. And what we're hoping, and what I'm hoping, is that we have a lot of people that are going to go to the West Side and go, wow, this is a really cool place. This is, Humboldt Park is a cool place. The same kind of experience, and then because there's a lot of people that have never been to the West Side. And it's going to be a great place to run. It's such a wonderful history there, and the people that we've met there are just amazing. So, just using the activity of running to really connect people. That's the goal, and everything. And if we can do that, then everything else will come afterwards.
So, I'm also noticing that the post race, situation is given like festival kind of vibes, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, which is a little different from the Shamrock. I know the Shamrock had like a little post celebration that they were trying to do this year. But do you feel like that's been kind of like an influence from like Lollapalooza and what's the other one that's in Douglas Park and stuff like that? I can't remember the name of it, but you know, is that kind of like the inspiration of it, seeing the success of those events?
Well, you know, we always, at all of our events, we have the runner reunite area. We have a post race finish line, and really we want to create at the finish line of this an opportunity to people to relax, stretch, recover, listen to some music, kind of take in the park a little bit, and reconnect with people, and really share what they experienced on race day. So this year, you know, we're going to have some music out there. We're going to have some entertainment. We're going to have some things that are really our team is working on from the west side, and it's going to be a celebration of this event, this inaugural event in 2022.
Because we like to party over on the west side, south side. Like you're inviting a good time.
You got to invite people. Yeah,
it's saying you're invited to the barbecue.
Yeah,
okay.
I like
exactly.
that. I like that because we're always looking for something to do afterwards.
Yes, we always want to
do it at the races also.
And you know, for us is for me is this concept, this idea as we come to the live action piece of it is, for me, it's what's going to make this great is the community embracing it and recognizing it, cheering for people and we're going to work really hard to get people out. And we have some interest from some of our elite athletes, which we'll be working on this week. We may have some really fantastic athletes, but the one thing that was apparent to me when I was out there yesterday, and I've been on parts of it and, did the measurement, but man, this is a fast course. There is one little hill on this thing. And I was just thinking, wow.
We're talking PRs.
Some of the talent that we have, that we have in the marathon, and put them on this course, you could see some amazing performances, sweeping turns, and just one little rise that we go across when we cross 290 on Central Park there, but it's dead flat. I mean, it is dead flat, which is
we bring us some world records back to the city.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have a few athletes that. But I'm looking to the future. I'm like, if we put some of the athletes that we see in the marathon, I mean, I think in a relatively short time you could see an athlete run under 60 minutes on this course for a half marathon. With some of the performances we've seen from athletes we've seen in the marathon in the fall.
Amazing. I get chills thinking about it. I just want to see it so bad.
I'm not even gonna lie. I really hate the fact that I'm not running it this year.
But it's okay.
Gonna be awesome.
We will still have our time. Awesome. Yeah, I'm so excited. And also, I think this race specifically is really going to put eyes on a lot of the run clubs over there. I mean, Ian, you mentioned the Peace Runners, and obviously there's Gumbo Fit and 7 on Sundays, and just like being able to invite our communities out here and I feel like there's a sense of ownership of this race. Yeah. We didn't put it together, but it's very much like, this is ours.
It is. And I mean, for this event to be successful, the organizations and the groups really, we got to hand it over to you guys, and it's got to take on that. It's got to be so centric to the neighborhoods and stuff. And that would be the goal, that you play an active role and how things work. We're going to sit down. We'll get through this year, but sit down, and we're going to invite you to some meetings prior to this to get some insight. But really, afterwards, how can we get a little bit better? What can we do? It's not until you have the first live event that you can really look at things. I mean, right now we're looking at maps and talking to people until it goes, and as its first, we inaugural event and launch it. Say, we can do this. We're going to do that. It'll be, and then the enthusiasm starts.
And then I'm thinking, okay, is there a half that we can say is similar to this? Or is this kind of like, when you think about other races around the country and other halves around the country, like, do you see any that are similar to what this specific one represents?
Well, I think a lot of the stuff, we were talking about the World Marathon Majors, but Ted Metellus, who's my counterpart from the New York City Marathon, and their Brooklyn half marathon,
true.
they brought on. So this is 3 years ago. Some of our team went out there and some of our team participated, and it kind of looked at how they did it and how they're doing it. So, but what I would love to see is, getting the kids involved in it, whether they're volunteering or whatever, and doing some programming around this event, and then a training programs that get people to the start line and then through the finish line. I think it's got an amazing future, and we're just excited about going to a part of the city that we haven't traditionally been. All the years that I have been there, I mean, we've done some fun runs and some things in the different parks over the years, but to have a really world-class event, take place on the west side of Chicago is exciting, and to be part of that is really, I'm really excited about it.
It's different. And so how many of these races do you need to put on before you're able to participate? I know you're too busy to do it this year. I'm just wondering, you think it's 5 years from now?
I do the shuffle because it's the shortest one. That's the one. But no, I would love to participate in this. Our team that's working on this, just working really hard on it. I don't know if I'll be ready for this one, but maybe next year. You have to see. I mean, I've always talked. People always ask me, when am I going to run the Chicago Marathon?
Have you?
That would be something. I have, but it was a while ago. It was 1983 was the last time that I ran the Chicago Marathon. And then, but I always think about it,
And that was before you got brought onto the team.
Right. Yeah. When I was I was still a young guy then. And, but my daughter for me, my daughter ran the Chicago Marathon in 2021, which was great. And,
wow.
So I got to be at the finish line for that, and she gave me a full report on how it was and what we need to improve on, and what she liked and everything. So
right.
So I got a firsthand report from my daughter, and she said it was a blast. It was one of the most fun she's had in a while. So it's cool. So maybe I'll have my daughter run. I'll see if I can get my daughter to run the first half, and then she can give me a real good report on that.
Yes, definitely. I'm here for it. I know. So I was fortunate to be at the starting line for the 2021 Chicago Marathon. And I saw you, and it was amazing to be so close to the elites, to be able to see everyone, and also just because Gumbo Fit trained upwards to 30, 35 people to run. And so then to actually see them get ready to start the race, it was a moment I'll never forget. And it was just really powerful. And you really see the impact that the run, the race has on people when they get to, because that's I've done everything to get here. And yes, you see those emotions at the end, but that start line is wow, I've made it to the start.
It's like electricity. There's so much enthusiasm. I mean, it is, and for me, all the years that I have done this and all of the experiences I've had, it still comes down to, and it's still, when I get up on race morning of the marathon, there's still this almost youthful energy that I felt that each year gets better and better, because it all comes to fruition, all the planning, everything that goes into it. But it is such a celebration of humanity. Mm-hmm. And so everybody there, I think the one thing that's always been obvious to me is that everyone that's on that starting line has a goal, but they've been on an amazing journey. They've been on this journey of, thinking about it, registering it, going through that process, and then this journey of traveling. And it's not just this journey of traveling from registration to the start line and all the training. And if it was just running, that would be it. But it's also, especially in 2021, where we were coming out of COVID and all of the things that, I think it was even more emotional this year. But it's traditionally, adjusting the workplace and soccer practice and the wedding reception and your job and your travel, and trying to figure out the training and how. And then when you start out, you have all this doubt, and then and there's days that you feel like you can't run a mile, and then there's a day that you feel like you could run 50 miles, and really just managing that journey and that emotion, and then making your way to the start. So it's a unique experience. I think that's why what drew me to that, because and then have like a family member. My wife a few years ago ran, which was very emotional, and then my daughter running last year.
That's dope.
Was amazing.
Well, and
we always say talking over each other. I love it. It's cool. So I was listening to another podcast called The Runners Connect, and I was listening to an interview that you had on there. And on their website, they have a quote from you. Says, "The marathon is the absolute expression of running." Now, I don't know when you did this interview, but hearing that right now, how does that feel for you now? Does that stay true? And why do you feel like it's the absolute expression of running?
I think anyone that has run or has, whether it was cross country or track, and as an individual in grade school or high school, or a casual jogger, there's a connection that sits out there, that the marathon. Would you try that? And if you say, "Hey, I'm a runner. Have you ever run the marathon?" Or when in the workplace, you tell everyone that you're going to run the marathon. They're like, "Whoa, how far is that?" And then, okay, well, good luck. And then you get through the training, and then they're like, "Yeah, I ran 13 miles. Okay, I'm going to go double." And then I did 20. I'm ready to go. So then all of a sudden there's this like, wow, this guy's going to do it. There's that emotional challenge, and everybody that starts around you that kind of doubted it. And then all of a sudden, like, well, maybe I should come down and watch her. Maybe I should figure out a way to make my way down there to support you. So I think it is. I think whether it's elite athletes or, I've watched athletes over the years, and I think everybody that runs and at all levels, they think about the marathon at some point in their life to give it a try.
And is this kind of what inspired you to even be on the production side of races? Like, what happened between 1989 and 1990?
Well, I was very fortunate. I had very success in high school, and I ended up going to college and competing at Villanova University, which is in Philadelphia. And I had some teammates and classmates that were from New York, Long Island, New Jersey area. So said, "Hey, let's go up and watch the New York City Marathon tomorrow." And I had never seen the New York City Marathon. I had never, I'd heard a little bit about it. So we got on the train from Philadelphia, went up to the New York City Marathon, made our way to Manhattan. And I remember standing on the 59th Street Bridge, First Avenue. And I was aware of the elite athletes, the Bill Rogers and the Alberto Salazars and the Frank Shorters. And they would come by. And at that time, Greta Weitz was the dominant woman marathon runner. So as they came across, I was like, wow, this is great. These guys are flying as they came across the bridge. But my teammates took off to go back to the finish line. And I just kind of stayed there and watched this like continual flow of participants. And it got to be 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. And I was just amazed that people were participating in this event that had no opportunity. They weren't even going to finish within 2-3 hours of the winner, but they seemed so engaged and compelled, and they were responding, and how the crowd was responding to them. So, as the field, we got deeper and deeper into the field, all shapes and sizes and different abilities, but they were all there together, and it created this like community. And that always stuck in the back of my head, and that people are at all different levels are participating in this event with a goal. It may be a goal to run 5 hours or 6 hours, or they're running for charity, but equally focused and engaged as the guys that are going to run. And that the fact that some of the best athletes in the world were in the same event with these individuals, I thought there was some really unique connect there, and it always stayed with me. And then I got a chance to meet Fred Lebo, who was the founder of the New York City Marathon, and he was a very good mentor to me. and he was the gentleman that brought the urban marathon to light with the New York City Marathon. Went through 5 boroughs. A very generous guy with his insight to me. And then I went up to the Boston Marathon. A teammate of mine was running the Boston Marathon, and I saw the marathon inherently different than New York, but it was the same kind of energy. The layout was different. It was point to point. It started in Hopkinton and made my way to the finish line. So those kind of stuck in my mind. And as I made my way through school and I ran in some road races and was around different road races, I just felt, man, Chicago could have everything that these events have and even more. But took some notes, like we talked about with the half, putting the start and the finish in the same place, just making the event a little bit more accessible, or a lot more accessible for spectators. So a lot of the things that you see in Chicago, I mean, really, I've taken from my experience at Boston or New York or other marathons. So we tweak, and we still do that. We still tweak things. I mean, I'll be driving down the street on a Sunday morning or something, and I'll see something, and I'll text Mike Nishi or Greg Hipp and say, "Hey, I'm looking at. I take a picture. We should think about this for the marathon." So we're constantly trying to upgrade what we do, and we're always there's receptors for this. But yeah, that's where it started. That's where it started for me.
Love it. I love it. Listen, my one of my biggest questions that I have on my list is, what's your secret to getting the city to fill potholes? Because I've run so many miles in the city on this course and I haven't seen one pothole. Okay. So please share the insights with all of us. The city is listening.
I have to say that as I still walk the marathon course. I'll walk 2 or 3 miles on a Sunday morning just to kind of, and I'll start now that the weather's gotten nicer, just to kind of see what's happened from the last year. If there's been any developments with the business that's come online, and you meet people and you talk to people, and they're keenly interested in the marathon. So really, it's building just a network of people of residents, because it's partly me and partly the residents, because they'll be, we'll be up on Sheridan Road or something, and there'll be a pothole there, and somebody that lives there will call the alderman and say, "Hey, there's a pothole on Sheridan Road. It's right past the turn. We can't have one of our wheelchair athletes hit this thing. It's got to be. Can't have one of these athletes that's come here to Chicago twist their ankle." So it comes from our team, where we drive and we send a report to the city and CDOT and the teams that work on that, but. They got a great crew. So we have a great network of people from the community to let us know what's going on. And then our teams that we send out, and then what the city sends out. The city sends out probably 2 weeks out. They've got a team that goes out and they're just assessing the route and looking at anything that might cause some problems. But I would say in 2021, our wheelchair athletes said that was the best the course has ever been. It was just seamed up really nicely, and they were really, really able to fly. So I think that's just being the city really embracing the event. They know how important it is, and I've been accused of that. Like, hey, can you come over a street over? We've got a few potholes.
Right.
We need to get fixed.
Let's move this around a little bit.
Yeah, and I just think that there's just a great deal of knowledge in the city, from the starting with the mayor's office. Of how this event works and how important it is, and from the elite athletes and our wheelers, and then our runners from all around the world and the country. So they pay good attention to it.
Well, I mean, you're speaking to the team that you have, and I had like a tour of like the back end, like security of the Chicago Marathon. And can you just enlighten us on like how big the Chicago Marathon is in comparison to like all of the other events in the city? Because I didn't know until then how, like, what is it, like the second largest event? Is that correct?
Well, it's the second largest marathon in the world.
Right. But like in the city of, I mean, that's huge. But in like the city of Chicago, you have like all of this, everyone is like, they've moved their offices.
The second city forever.
Well, I'll go back to 2019, which was the last full registration event that we had. So we had about a little over 47,000 people that started, just about 46,000 participants that finished. So if you think about that, that's a good sized city. And it really is a year-round planning cycle that goes into it. When you talk about the impact, it has traditionally been in the top three restaurant grossing weekends and retail grossing weekends. So it's not just our participants, but their friends and families that come. We work with over 40 hotels, so it's been traditionally one of the top three hotel grossing weekends for the year. Now, there's some other big conventions that rival that, but we've also been number one for years. So in certain years, so there is an economic impact to that that's so vital to the city, because we have so many people that come and they discover the city. They go to the museums, or they look at the architecture. They go to dinner. They really absorb the community, and hopefully they'll come back when they don't have to run, or their neighbor or their loved one or significant other doesn't have to run the marathon. But so it's a big driver of it, of the economic side of the city. One of the pillars, the other pillar is the philanthropic side of it. In 2019, which was our biggest year, our charity program raised over $27 million race day for our associated charities. Some of the charities have a local focus, which is great. Some have a national focus. But they all do great work from all different aspects. And we always try to have a really diverse group of charities that our participants can support. And then just the cultural side of it. Everybody that's running and training and moving and influencing people to a healthy and active lifestyle. So we've always felt that those are the three pillars that make the event event fantastic. And we have our lead athlete program, which has been amazing. And we have the TV. We have our TV broadcasts. We're seen live here in Chicago, but I want to say in 2021 we went into 160 countries with the TV broadcast. So it really is an opportunity to showcase the city of Chicago and everything that's great about the city of Chicago in a really relatable way.
I just realized I was muted, but all of that, and then also just like security, like you guys have eyes over the whole city. Like, I mean, when I tell you, it's like the organization, just like every detail is covered. There is someone there doing it. Like y'all have like an entire hospital, basically, you know what I mean? Like back there, like, it's like, there's so many resources for the runners, and everything is thought of. And I think that that's something where like a race this large, the second largest race in you said the world, it's like, there's just so much that goes into it. And I get really fascinated by it. And I just think like, yeah, like all year round, you all are thinking about these things, and the people that show up, like how much, what would you say, like other than the field, how many people are there just to support the event happening?
Well, haven't had they have been crowd estimates of upward of 1 million people that are part of the event on race day, whether spectating or around they come in from different areas to see. I thought last year, for the fact that we did not have the event in 2020, I thought the crowds were as big or bigger than we've seen in the past 10 years, which was amazing. So people came out, and given that we were still coming out of COVID and COVID mitigation, to see the turnout that we had was amazing.
Yeah. I don't know, Ian, if you have anything else. I'm always a fan. I can continue talking about logistics because that's my favorite thing.
That's your thing.
Yeah.
No, I think that's the thing with race directors. I mean, the race management program that we do, or whatever, and that Courtney, you were part of, is that you have the same pressure and stress. It's just that we have a bigger numbers on everything that we do, but it's still, you have the same concerns that I would have, or a person that it's just magnified a little bit. But I think that's great with race directors that aspire to want to have an event, and they are invited to our race management program, is that they learn so much, and they really learn that these are the things that what makes a great event. And what makes our event, or an event you're doing, is just the race day experience. So it's a simple formula, but sometimes you get pulled away from that, So we have a team that really focuses on that.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's great that you have that, and then you have been able to bring yourself back to running, your own running. The fact that I didn't realize you were actually out there on the field for Shamrock. So that's major. That says a lot about
I wasn't going very fast. So
right. But it's like the passion never dies. I think that's what it reads to me.
Oh yeah, I got nervous. I got out there and I started warming up a little bit. I got really nervous, and I was like, and I forgot to double knot my shoe. Man. So I got to like 2 miles. I had to stop and tie my shoe, which probably good for 3 or 4 minutes, right? I probably slowed me down 3 or 4 minutes when I tied my shoe, or I could have run much faster. At least that's my response. But I'm looking around, my lace on my shoe is flopping around, so I just stopped and tied. You think after all these years.
Yeah, that cost me a personal race against another runner. I had to tie my shoes. I got to remember that next time. Double knotted up, double knotted.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You'd think I would have remembered that, but I forgot. So, but no, it's been great talking with you guys this morning. We're you guys are doing some great things, and it's great to be part of your show this morning. And talk about running. Talk about all the things that are going on, for sure.
Yeah, we always appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule, planning all the races in Chicago. And so just so many great experiences that you and your team provide to us. So again, thank you for taking the time. And I'm very excited to share this with our community, because I think it's really going to give us all some insight on just like what all you do, all your team does, what they can expect for the half, and, encouraging people to participate in the full. If they're not this year, maybe next year, whenever they're ready, it'll be there. Because it's, especially now with COVID, it kind of dissipating in the sense of like its effect on these large scale events. Like it's going to continue to get bigger and better. And I think this half is really, I'm sure your team already knows, but it's just going to make that incentive to do that next big jump to the marathon more, just more exciting and enticing.
Sure. And I think that's the beauty of these events, is that you can come down and cheer and be part of it. You can, I've always said the events that we do, the Shamrock or the Marathon or the 13.1, nothing sells the events like the events themselves. When you see that, that celebration of humanity, or they see someone that, that inspires them to get moving a little bit, or they hear, when we story tell about someone that has overcame some challenges in their lives that they may be able to relate to, but found their way through those challenges by supplementing running, and they're going to be in the marathon. Those are the things that are unbelievable, and they're so organic in the way that they come to light. And someone that invited somebody to come along for a run, or encourage them to start running, or walking and then running, and then running in an event. That's what keeps me going. It's as I said, all of my life I've been around running, and I still at this point continue to talk to people like you and meet organizations like you that are doing so many great and getting people moving, and building an inclusive group where people feel part of that, and then they feel good about themselves, and they can come down and volunteer or watch or just to be part of this amazing activity.
Great.
Yeah. Being able to live a life with, or live a life through running is something I'm definitely striving for, and watching you be able to do it is is awesome. So again, from me as well, thank you for spending time with us today.
Yeah. And to our listeners, we will be right back. But Carey, thanks again for joining us. We'll see you out there for the half.
Oh yeah,
we'll see you there.
We're gonna have you guys out there for sure.
Right, I know.
We're gonna need you.
It's gonna be a good time.
You gonna see us.
We're gonna need you. We're gonna need you for sure.
All right,
Courtney, Ian, always great to talk. Great seeing you. And I love the shirts you guys have on this morning. Those are
we had to.
Chicago, that's it.
It's only right.
I love it. You guys are representing there, so that's awesome. That's awesome. I gotta get one of those shirts. I never got one of those. I'll have to figure out.
Honestly, the shirt is my favorite.
What size are you? I got a bunch of them at my store.
I'll have to come down and get one from you.
Yeah, I got a bunch
Alex was just telling me you gotta come down. Now that you have that sweatshirt, I'm gonna have to come down and get one.
All right, cool.
Necessary.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Just amazing. If you're not rocking with the Runners Club podcast at this point, I don't know what to tell you, because our guests just every time it's like, what do you need to know? What inspiration do you got you from all levels, from runner to elite runner to organizer, producer, president of the second largest running event in the world. Excuse me? Excuse me. Put some respect on my name. Hey.
I love it. And of course, the day that we have like one of the most important guests, my son is like, hey, my nigga, like this door means nothing.
I don't care about none of that.
Nothing. Carry who? I want
in
some
my
popcorn,
world.
Fam.
Okay.
Where's my red car? Okay. Like, help me.
Where's my apple juice? Okay. Where is it?
Yes.
I don't want to ask again.
But I'm loving it. Listen, I think this is just a really good launching pad for us. I mean, maybe I should be saying this once the camera is off and the mic has been pushed to the side. But I mean, Carey being on a podcast is like next level, and all the insights he gave us for the Shamrock, to have the Chicago Marathon. I want you to know, I want, like, this is what, for me, like, Start at 7 on Sundays, opening this store and cheering for so many of our runners, like, to be able to have access to the other side of the running community, the running world. Yeah, it just makes everything so much more worth it and stuff like that. And I'm hoping to take these connections, this advice and stuff, and be able to curate even doper experiences for the runners here in the city,
Yeah. And I really just think that we you're going to see us. You're going to see us at the half, you're going to see us there cheering y'all on and in support of you. And it's going to be a good time.
Calling y'all names.
We're going to be out there with you, and this is just a warm up. This is a warm up. Not ready. Not ready. But okay. Do you have any updates? Because I don't want to end not knowing what's going on in Ian's world.
In Ian's world is a world onto itself. So I just finished my 8-week course with the Women's Business Development Center. It was an 8-week course, 8-week business course, and it went over like just a bunch of topics on the spectrum, from marketing to organizational procedures to how to become how to certify your business as a woman-owned business or minority-owned business, how to go for government contracts or corporate contracts, and just all of these different things, how to properly apply for grants, business loans, where to go for micro loans for small businesses, and just the things that you need to be prepared for those processes. It was just a wealth of knowledge for it was 9 weeks. And it was just awesome. So I finished that. I got a little certificate and everything. It's super awesome. Thank you. But I've told quite a few people who have small businesses, non-for-profits, or are looking to start that. The resources in Illinois, the Small Business Department Center, the SBDC, is free. It's invaluable. I go to the Bronzeville location, but I think there's an office in just about every neighborhood and a lot of neighborhoods in the city of Chicago. I go to the Bronzeville one where I work with Lauren. There's Rebecca at that office as well. And I mean, the resources that they have, the information, the mentorship, the advisory that they give me is just invaluable. Like I would have to go to a business school to get the kind of information that I'm getting from them. But then also there are other organizations like the Women's Business Development Center, which was started for women, but it helps, male and minority owned businesses as well. But all of them have access, and this is all free. Like, wow, you can go there, get some help with your small business, get access to some resources, some tools that make running a small business or a not-for-profit a lot easier. So I really recommend you guys taking advantage of these resources, so you're not doing it all by yourself. Because that was one thing that we all said. Like, I was in there with a bunch of different businesses, from healthcare to health and beauty, to daycare center, to somebody trying to start a laundry mat, to somebody doing an educational horticultural situation. You know what I'm saying? And it's the one thing that we all felt and we all described is that being an entrepreneur is like being an island. You know what I'm saying? Like being a chain of islands. Like, there are other islands out there, but there is so much in between us. There's so
and you don't know
vastness,
what's going on over there.
And being able to connect with other islands, being able to connect with other entrepreneurs makes a world of difference, because we are all struggling into success in our own way.
Facts. It is an uphill battle, but I'm telling you, the trajectory is up.
Yeah,
you go up, down, but ultimately it's moving upwards.
Yes, and taking advantage of these resources can make the downs happen less often and less impactful when they do happen. So please try to put a link in the show notes or something for the SBDC and the WBDC,
Okay.
But that's pretty much it. Your boy in this bitch strength training, you feel me? Lifting, you know what I'm saying? I had to wear the hoodie today because I ain't need y'all to see my chest. You know what I'm saying? It's under construction right now, but it's looking real good. Yeah. You feel me? So my girl looked at me and was like, "You are losing weight." I was like, "You what?" All right, you see this chest? You see this? What you talking about? So yeah, I've been doing a lot of that, running, getting me a few miles in and whatnot. Trying to figure out, I'm trying to figure out how to train for this race in the fall. Running Bell to Bull. I'm trying to figure that out. I don't know what training keep us updated. For 45 miles on foot. Are you going to do it?
Are you saying you're going to do it, or are you saying you're figuring out whether or not it's going to happen?
I mean, no, like I told Aaron, like I was like, hey, I'm ramping up my mileage, I'm trying to get back to a smooth 9-8:30 pace for double digit running and stuff like that, where it's comfortable, where it's conversational pace for me, because I could do it. I'm just gonna be out of breath. Right. But I was like, hey, after a couple months or something, let's say like June or something, let's do a 20 miler. Let's take one bike, preferably mine. And let's ride. You do 10 miles on a bike, I do 10 miles on foot, out and then back, we reverse. And let's just see how it is. Let's see how comfortable it is. Because the biggest thing for me with me and Aaron is the height difference.
The size. Yeah, you can't. So, because you're supposed to only take one bike.
No, we could take more than one bike.
Can you have both your bikes and then someone just drives alongside you? That's what I was thinking. So like initially.
We really need to sit down and plan plan the route, plan the course, because there is no route. There's just checkpoints that we have to reach, and we have to hit all the checkpoints.
Okay.
To be considered finished. So we really have to see how much of it allows for a car, where we're going to go. Of course, carrying us down to support us in a vehicle. And we might end up taking 2 bikes.
Okay.
It's just 2 bikes mean, just more opportunities for things to go wrong. And so I'm like, hey, let's try this. Let's see if it's comfortable. And so I gave him, the thing I was trying to say was like, I gave him this opportunity to do a mock 20 miler with me. And to see if he felt comfortable. Because if not, then this is his race. Find somebody that may be more along your height. But he looked at me, he was like, bro, I want you, bro. I'm just trying to have fun.
He wants to be with his friend.
I was like, all right, my nigga, say less. We running this joint then. What you talking about?
Yeah.
So it's gonna happen. And I think that's just what I'm gonna focus on. I might do a half at some point. I think a few people want to do this half in the south suburbs. That's right before the Hoka half, which is Karen's race that she truly races and stuff like that. Shout out to her to getting second in the women's field last year. But
okay.
Yeah. No,
Karen be coming in hot. She's very unassuming. She's very she does the work, and she shows up, and she shows you the work that she's been doing in her performance.
She's doing.
You will know what she's doing
right now,
when she's running the race, and she basically wins.
Oh yeah, no, I'm taking this back to him. Like, hey, yo, I spoke to Carey today. He said this bitch flat.
Yeah,
he said this joint flat. He was like, you better run.
It's very fast.
Like, it better not be slower than last year's race.
It's saying PR all day.
It's giving PR.
It's giving PR.
So I might run one half, but I think majority of my training is going to be about anaerobic conditioning, just being able to just run long as fuck, at a constant pace.
Is it anaerobic, or is that the one that's not about I think
aerobic
oxygen?
Is about
aerobic is like long distance running. Anaerobic is like speed training, I think.
Oh, okay.
Because that's like it's about not getting oxygen to your muscles the way that you do when you're long distance running.
Look who's someone paying attention. RCA certification. Okay.
I try not to.
Where the card at? You feel me?
The knowledge is there, is all I'm saying.
Coach Courtney in this bitch. You feel me?
Okay.
I love it. So yeah, I mean that's just where I'm at with it. A lot of spring cleaning, a lot of dusting off the running legs, and it's feeling good. It's feeling good. My dad. Let me tell you about my dad. Hold on for you. Let me tell you about my dad. I call my dad. My dad is an immigrant. My dad is from Nicaragua.
You better say Nicaragua.
You feel me? My dad is from Central America. My dad was a bodybuilder at one point. He was in the not like the big guys.
That's where you got your body from
and stuff.
You're built to be a bodybuilder.
Listen, he was like he did the symmetry joint. So everything, both sides had to look the same, all the muscles and stuff like that. That was the category he in. It was more about looking aesthetic and stuff.
Okay.
And so I was like, man, I was like, Dad, listen, I just need to know something. I was like, Dad, like if I just put my head in the sand, if I just go hard, right, and just train, I was like, how long would it take me to look different? I'm like, are we? Because like YouTube be like, oh, check out my 90-day transformation. Da 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 da. I was like, it's
you trying to look different.
It's gonna take me a year.
You're trying to look different.
I was like, because I'm like, is it really gonna take a year? Like, I just need to know so my mind is ready. You feel me?
Prepared.
And he was like, no, 6 months. It'll be different. I was like different, like drastically. He was like 6 months. 6 months. He was like, you train 6 days a week. I was like, Dad, 6 days a week? He was like, yeah. I was like, what about resting? He was like, what do you mean? You got 1 day of rest. It's 7 days in a week. I was like, yeah, but I was like, Dad, I'll be running a lot too. I was like, I feel like I need 2 days for recovery. He was like, that sounds like excuses.
He said, if you want it to be 6 months, I'm telling you the keys. I'm giving you the keys. You're not taking it.
He was like, yeah. He was like, that sounds like excuses. He was like, get up in the morning, workout. You got 24 hours to your next workout. That's all the recovery you need. he was like, nutrition, Ian, nutrition. Okay. Nutrition. Nutrition is what recover your muscles. Okay. I was like, all right, Dad, thank you very much. He was like, you got 24 hours to your next workout. What more recovery do you need? He was like, it's not like you work with your body. You don't do hard labor. You sit at a store. You're fine.
He said, that's your recovery. What is the problem?
That's your recovery. He's like, you're not doing anything.
You're sitting right there. You're sitting down.
Yes. He's like 6 days a week. 6 days a weekend. That's what I did for 25 years and stuff. Man, listen, this whole time I thought my dad ate rice, beans, and eggs for breakfast, then rice, beans, and chicken for dinner, right? Of course, you have his protein shake for breakfast too. Come to find out, this nigga was leaving me at home sleep. You know what I'm saying? Because I've never been a morning person. This man ate oatmeal with honey, cinnamon, and bananas for breakfast every day for 25 years.
And you never knew?
I didn't know. I've seen him eat that bowl of oatmeal before, but it was like very few times. But no, this nigga would eat that, go work out, come back, and then we would have this breakfast that I grew up remembering.
And you said, this is what we do every day. He was, wow. Look at that.
My man's not playing. I was like, Dad, like, what motivated you to do this? He was like, I liked it. He was like, oh, just like, it's like, that's the thing, these people, they need somebody to tell them to go do it. They need motivation. It's like, I like doing what I was doing. So I did it every day. I was like, okay. I was like, all right, Dad.
Wow. Your dad's an inspiration. I need to, when is your dad going to be around? Cause I need to hear you're giving me a little sense of his accent.
I'm not bringing my dad nowhere near you. I'm not bringing my dad nowhere near you, man. Nowhere near you. So we can watch him flirt for 45 minutes. No, not at all.
I need to meet him. But you bringing up your dad makes me think of my dad and how so my dad he's not a runner. I think him seeing me run recently, I feel like he's gotten a little curious as to whether or not he goes to the gym, and his tactic recently is he's like, yeah, I just go every day. And then I do every machine. That's it. And I was like, okay, he's like, that's it. That's fine. And he used to go to the Calhoun Beach Club, and he was like, but that was his social hour. And so he wouldn't get his workout in a lot. And then he would go for bike rides on the weekends. Cause I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota, to be exact, land of 10,000 lakes are everywhere. So you can really make a good bike ride around several lakes in the city if you wanted to. So that was his thing. And recently he said that he wanted to do some bike tours, and I said, bet, you and me about to connect, okay, on another level. Let me get my bike, I'll meet you out there. You trying to do a Euro trip? What we going? I really feel like he's really into he's like, I feel like that's a new way for me to connect with my dad, so I'm very much excited for this.
He was like, you can get your bike, I can get my bike. We can be friends. We could do this every weekend.
I was like, Dad, I will meet you out there. Because in the past, he would never invite me on a bike ride. He would go out with his wife, but I didn't have no bike. And he was always like, well, I'm not wait, because he's not going to wait for you. You're not going at his pace. He's not going to waste. It's what pace are we going at? He's very much like, if you're hanging out with me, you go, I'm the leader.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. That's cool.
Giving Dad energy.
Yeah. So, pray for me and the possibility for us to actually do this. But I'm like, I'm about to get out here, and we're about to be father, daughter, little bike trips. I need to do one somewhere.
Hey, listen, you know what I'm saying? Me can't pull up. We got bikes.
Trying to facilitate.
Say less. But I love it. Shouts out to our dads for being dads.
For sure. Maybe one day we need to have a fitness initiative with the dads.
Oh my God.
Bring your dad.
Oh my God. My dad, I have no time. But listen, that's what I'm telling myself every morning. No excuses.
No excuses. You just gotta go.
No excuses. Just fucking move your body and make it happen. And it will happen. So there we go. And I can't I can't be round. I can't be round no more. It's 33. I'm trying to be in the best shape of my fucking life. So
I feel you. I feel the same. I got to get into the best shape of my life before I get pregnant so I can maintain working out at that pace.
There we go.
You're not supposed to pick up anything new when you get pregnant. So I'm like, so if I run a try right before I get pregnant, I can continue to swim and bike and run at another level. And
you can.
I'm like,
whatever you can do before pregnancy, you can do to a certain level during pregnancy. Yeah.
So
keep it up. Keep it up. And please have a little girl. Because
Karen won't
give me one.
I know that's the goal for me, but I'm open to anything that is. I just want a healthy baby when the time is right, because it's not happening anytime soon. So do not DM me. I'm just saying I'm coming around to the idea more and more.
What we gotta do? All right, hey, listen.
Give me a couple years.
Listen, Runners Club podcast listeners. Hey, Operation Baby Fever. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go.
Yeah, I mean now it's like actually like Matthew and I are planning it in a way that's like not, it's like, it used to be like, yeah, maybe 5-6 year, whatever. And now it's like, all right, well, now's the time. So not right now, but like soon.
Oh.
Yeah. So, TBD.
You're gonna be out here with the little thermometer joint, checking your ovulations and all of that. Is that what we're doing?
I'm mad at you right now because I actually just bought one. I'm open. I love, open communication. Our listeners, like I share with y'all what I don't share with others. And I'm just, and Ian brings it out of me. But like, yeah, I'm saying not tomorrow, not 6 months from now, not a year from now, but like maybe in a couple of years, maybe 3. Maybe 3.
I know what that thermometer means. No.
I'm just trying to get a gauge of like what's going on.
Yeah. Nah, that's cool. Get the cycle down, Pat. I feel you. I'm using it for the opposite reason, trying not to have a baby.
Well, that's actually why we got it.
That's why I told you.
I'm not trying to have no babies, but I'm just trying to, just see what's going on. Of course, Karen is on that.
Yeah, of course, because like,
yeah.
Condoms for what, my nigga? Like,
y'all, we got to end this podcast right now. If you have gotten this far into the podcast, you a true listener. And again, I'm going to take this time to remind you, subscribe, rate us, okay? Follow us on Instagram, Runners Club Podcast. Write in, if you're experiencing some of the same things, come on, tell us your stories. And
what's your basal temperature? Drop your basal temperature in the DMs every day. Let us know. Accountability partners.
Right. Let us know. We'll get into it. Next week, we got another guest for y'all. So stay tuned and, keep running. Keep getting these miles. That's all I got.
Keep doing what you're going to do. One foot in front of the other. Left, right, left. You feel me? All right, y'all. Peace.